So, right, we're here to talk about the overhead myth, which is really affects all of you, and I'm really excited to dig in. But I really want to take a step back. I really want to talk about how stronger information systems can build a stronger sector. And so to do that, I'm going to talk about scaffolding, which is weird, and I know that. So let's talk about it. When people think of scaffolding, they think of something square that covers a building, and that's true. But scaffolding is also really diverse. It can be made out of bamboo, and it can be shaped like a robot. Scaffolding allows us to build things together and to connect to each other. This is the scaffolding that Michelangelo and his assistants used to paint the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel. And that's really important. It wasn't just Michelangelo, it was also his assistants. So again, scaffolding allows us to come together and to actually learn from each other and build things together. That's really important because there are two philanthropic elephants in the room, and we're going to talk about those really quickly. The first is that some nonprofits are actually better than others, and that's a really hard truth. We come to the sector from the best parts of our heart, usually, and certainly volunteers and others who give up their valuable time, and that's tough. It doesn't mean that all nonprofits do a great job. And the same is true of donors. There are simply some people who are just more effective at building social good from their resources. So we have to admit that, and we really have to think about how to transcend that. The other reason we need to think about scaffolding is we live in this world. So the military calls this VUCA. It's volatile, it's complex, it's uncertain, and it's ambiguous. And our job is really to operate with vision, with understanding, with clarity and agility. So how do we do that? How do we kind of make sense of this VUCA world and actually address the two elephants in the philanthropic room? The solution comes in information. You just need good information to make good decisions. And frankly, we're not doing this just for its own sake. We're solving the world's greatest problems, and that's really important and something that we all spend so much time on, and we need to do a better job in the sector. So, what is the document? Oh, sorry, I'm skipping ahead a little bit. There are 4 kinds of information that are really important to us and to the sector when you think about nonprofits and the work they do. So the first are nonprofits themselves. The second are the issues those nonprofits are trying to address. The third are the interventions that the nonprofits are engaging in to address the issues. And the fourth are the resources that go in and out of the sector. In the sector, we have kept those siloed. And our job is really to bring them together. And that's very much what GuideStar is working to do. And, I'm skipping ahead a little bit, what is the document that we use to structure information about all of this? What is the document that we use? I just gave it away, didn't I? It's this! It's the Form 990. It's crazy, right? We're using a regulatory document to structure information about solving social problems and about making the world better. This is how we structure nearly $1 trillion of the economy, by 12 million people that work for the sector, by nearly 2 million nonprofits. And it's a little bit insane. Now, not all of them are this bad. This is actually on the Urban Institute's website. I think the title is worst 990 ever.ppt. But I mean, the fact remains that we need to go beyond the 990. You all know by the time the public sees it, it's a year, if not more, late. And I have to be honest, it's kind of dangerous for a GuideStar employee to make fun of the document that is our bread and butter. But I do that so that we can move past it, because that's really our job, is to get past the 990. We can transcend it. We have tools to help you do that. And one of those is looking at overhead myths. Somehow, because this information is the 990, we've said it's valuable. Somehow we've said because the percent of a nonprofit's expenses that go to administrative costs versus programs, that it's a valuable piece of information and that it's an indicator of success. It's absolutely insane. We need to move past it. That's why we partnered with BBB Wise Giving Alliance and Charity Navigator on the overhead myth. And to talk about that, I'm going to give it to Art.